Hello, Brovs. We're back with new book arrivals, number 238. Let's get started. Nixon. It's a great book cover. A psycho-historical inquiry by Bruce Maslish. It was not $1. I think it was 70 cents at the thrift store I went to. And I will not get bogged down picking those, but does it say Moloch? M-O-L-O-C? The hell was that? In this pivotal book in the new field of psychohistory, what is psychohistory? A distinguished historian uncovers the deepest levels of President Nixon's personality. Neither conventional biography nor clinical psychoanalysis in search of Nixon achieves something new. A psychohistorical inquiry into the hidden relationship between Nixon the man and Nixon the public figure. Among the vital questions that Professor Maslish considers, why does Nixon have such personal difficulties in making decisions? On the basis of his childhood problems, what can we infer about his attitudes toward communist China, inflation, the Supreme Court? Why does he project personal crises onto the political arena, as in the famous Chequers speech or in the Hainsworth-Carswell affair? Do political issues like pacifism and subversion have a personal meaning to him? And the sticker's not coming off. Sounds interesting. Really like that cover. It's great. True Gretch. What I've learned about life, leadership, and everything in between. Gretchen Whitmer, who is the Democrat governor from Michigan. Not a very good one. And being that I believe Trump is a socialist, it's easy to understand that I think this mental midget, actually I don't think she's a mental midget, I think she's just a sycophant for globalism. And this woman would put you in a concentration camp. I got the book. Hopefully it's worth something so I can sell it. If not, hopefully she runs for president so then it gains some value. Either way, it will go in my Michigan collection. Unless it's, oh my God. Whitmer is a national voice in the rights of women voters in the LGBTQ community. She rose to national prominence for her leadership in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic. Mind you, this cunt made it illegal to buy paint. Paint! Because that was somehow a threat, and there was like certain places, stores where stuff like that was roped off and you couldn't reach it. I mean, total dictatorial power. And she's the one that'll call Trump a fascist. I mean, Trump's a mixed economy statist and a socialist light, but he's not a fascist. This is a fascist. I mean, the Democrats seem to forget that controls on business are part and parcel with the fascist ideology. And they love controls on business. Mal Flanders, Daniel Defoe. Just a nice paperback. What's it by? Bantam Classic. It's basically brand new. I couldn't not get it for 25 cents. There was a vintage mass market paperback that showed like a buccaneer and some woman on the front, but it was pretty beat up. It's been there for a while and no one ever bought it. And since I found that Nixon book at a different store, I got this one. The Haldeman Diaries inside the Nixon White House. It was only a quarter, so I had to get it. I've passed on a lot of Richard Nixon books just because I really don't have space to get something unless it's extraordinary or really cheap. And this qualifies as very cheap. Scarecrow by Vladimir Zhelenikov, translated by Antony Antonina W. Bowie. And the main reason why I got this book was this. Chestnut Middle School, name Kimberlee Couture, 1993-94. This is obviously Springfield, Mass. Probably didn't realize when her mother probably, I assume, she left these books at her childhood home and her mother got rid of them, but who knows what could have happened since 94, which is what, 31 years ago? Maybe she's still around. You would think she's probably, what, mid-40s? Maybe she wants her book back. As for the book, I only got it just because it was a Russian author, and because of that. Dear friends, the mystery of the soul has always been of great interest to me. In my book, Scarecrow, I write about teenagers trying to discover that mystery. For me, it is the movement of Russian soul and Russian character, its transformation under the influence of circumstances, and its features that do not change. Now, let me say a few words about myself so that you will have an idea about the author of this book, who lives many thousand kilometers away from your country. I was born in the town of Vitebsk, a small town known to the entire world because it is the birthplace of the great painter Marc Chagall. For many years now, I've been living in Moscow. My apartment is just a stone's throw from the Kremlin. I am married, and I am proud of my wife, not only because I love her, but also because we have different views on many problems, and she helps me to widen my perception of the world around me. I have a daughter who is a pianist and a granddaughter who is a ballet dancer. My hobby, which is the cinema, takes up most of my free time. I am an artistic director of the Globus movie studio that makes films for teenagers. Oh my God. All right, so scarce book, not necessarily scarce in a valuable way, but an obscure book, I'll say. This one I could not pass up. Tatterhood and Other Tales, edited by Ethel Johnston Phelps, with illustrations by Pamela Baldwin Ford. Main reason why I got this book is because it is, where did I see it? The Feminist Press. 1980s, I would assume. 1978. Happy 6th birthday, Rachel, from Mama and Papa. Accustomed as we have all been to great daring-do tales of heroes and handmaidens, it is a particular pleasure to enjoy these splendid folk tales and legends where the central characters are clever, strong, resourceful, and successful females. There are role models aplenty for both sexes here, a rich assortment. So that's basically why I got it. It's more or less a feminist version of fairy tales. I don't know any of these fairy tales, so it all depend on the story, individual stories, to see if they do differ from the regular. Kamala and the Seven Thieves. Oh my God, that's applicable to our times. R.L. Stein's Goosebumps, Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns. Goosebumps trading card inside. Let's see if it's in there. Wouldn't that be great if it was? I get some. Pretty sure this is worth about $20 just because it's a Halloween copy. Where's this card at? I don't see it. It's probably... You probably have to order it. You probably had to order it, but I don't see that. If it's in there, I don't know where it is. I don't want to break the spine before I sell this, because I am going to sell it since it's worth $20. The House Made by Frida McFadden. Again, I buy this book. Oh, look, this looks like whatchamacallit, large print. Did not know that. Keeps you turning the pages. Tim would like. 7/19/24. The hell's Tim? Anyways, large print. I guess it says it right there on the fucking counter. Not the counter, but the... What's that called? Cover. There you go, Bob. Catherine, Empress of all the Russias. Vincent Cronin. An intimate biography. Year is it 78? Wow. Good guess. Didn't even open. I saw it, picked it up, and it was mine without a second glance beyond the front cover. Which is sometimes to my detriment, but my theory is that it's better to have it in my hand than have someone else come up and grab it. The Devil in Massachusetts by Marion L. Starkey. I have no clue what this is about. I'm assuming it's fiction because it's one of those Time Life books, which I also picked up 3 other copies of books. But I figured it was something to do with witchcraft. I couldn't even say it. My thanks to those who gave me the hand. Is this... Aldous Huxley wrote the intro. The problem with these Time Life books is you cannot... I mean, this front cover is literally like a piece of Luan. It's like a piece of plywood. Thin, very thin plywood. I mean, it's literally that sturdy. So, the problem with it is if you open this book in any form of a V shape, it will, beyond the V shape, it will snap the binding. So I don't want to do that. Assume this is about witches, like I said, which is probably why he, being Aldous Huxley, introduced it, since he wrote a book called, what's it called? The hell was his book called? On witches. The something of Loudon. The fuck was it called? Was it The Witches of Loudon? No. The Devils of Loudon? The hell's his book called? Yeah, The Devils of Loudon, I think. I'm going to look it up and see what this book is. Yes, it is about the witchcraft trials in Salem. So that's interesting. The cover alone probably makes it worth a little more than the average book. The average edition of this title, but other than that, it's hit or miss. The Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis. I actually have a copy of this in this same edition, which I could probably go grab and show you what happens to these books when you utilize them. Actually, this is a bad example because this one, the cover's been opened so many times. As you can hear, that's a solid piece of cardboard. And I guarantee if I open this wide, it'd probably split the bind. No, it won't. Just the cover will split it. All right, well, if I ever just... Why would I ever read the Screw Tape Letters on this channel when it's readily available? Another book is The Leopard by Giuseppe di Lampedusa. There's the train saluting you. Let me look up this Giuseppe. See if there's any of these that have been sold. Leopard by Giuseppe. It's probably not a valuable book itself. I didn't expect it to be. Now, if it was a first edition hardcover, it'd be worth about $115. Otherwise, it's just probably a $5-10 book. No matter, I didn't get it for that. I got it because of the cover art, which I don't know what that is, but that's that. Last one is Elizabeth the Great by Elizabeth Jenkins. Assuming that's the Queen. Look at this cover. Corners broke right off. As I said, these are literally like Luan plywood. Great covers, though. I don't know if they sold these in like a series where you were getting them once a month or whatever, but nice covers. Across the River and Into the Trees by Hemingway. Book that I saw just as I was ready to leave the bookstore. So many books I miss the first time I'm around. That's why I always check 2 or 3 times. And this is obviously one of his later books before The Old Man and the Sea. It was about Adriana Ivancic, the 18-year-old he met when he was 50 and fell in love with. A lot of people say that she used Hemingway, but I do believe she was in love with Hemingway as well. So I think it was a mutual agreement, though later Ivancic's husband forbade her to speak to Hemingway again and then put her in a convent, I believe, or was it an insane asylum? Either way, that's what happened, and then she eventually killed herself. But I believe it was after Hemingway died. She wrote a book about Hemingway. I can't remember the name now. What the hell's it called? The White Tower? Yeah, that's what it's called, because he built the tower for his cats, all of his 50 plus stray cats that live with him in Cuba. What's it called? The Bianca? I can't remember. I actually translated the Adriana Ivancic version, which I should read on here, but I'll probably get sued by somebody. James Patterson lies, he told me. She's in love with a liar. And that same person who said Tim would like that other book said, outstanding book. This too looks like it is large print. Or maybe not. But it's worth $2 something on thrift books, so it's not worth selling on eBay. It's first edition, September 2024. If it's not worth selling on eBay, I will give it to them bastards at thrift books for $2. Make $1.50 profit off it and get something. Put that money towards something I want. Normally, I would not get a Bill O'Reilly book. I have about 5 of his killing. What was it? Lincoln, killing, Washington. I don't know which ones I have. But after a while, I just stopped. I'm just like, these books will never have value just because Bill O'Reilly is reviled. To me, he's just boring. Although his one video where he fucking will do it live, one of the greatest clips ever. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Yeah, that's one of the greatest clips I've ever heard in my life. Love that clip. But this one is about the Salem witches, which is crazy because I found that other book about the witches as well. So I did not know he wrote a book like this. How many books is this fucking guy? Oh, Martin Dugard's writing with him. So apparently he's got a ghostwriter as well. I mean, I'm not sure why he's putting all these books out. Frankly, I don't know if... I'm assuming he's a decent writer, otherwise he would not be in print at all. But I could be wrong. See what other ones are in these series. Killing the SS. Killing the Rising Sun. Killing Reagan. Killing Jesus. Killing Kennedy. I think I have Kennedy Lincoln and Reagan. But after a certain point, I was just like, fuck this. I ain't buying all these. I still don't know why he keeps writing all these books. Wonder if he's going to have his own The Killing of O'Reilly. Anyway, I paid $1.11 for it, I believe. Yeah. Interesting. It's actually got some value, too, on Feebay. Lastly, Great Horror Stories 101 Chilling Tales. Book's not in great shape. It's probably a $5 book, which includes the $5 it costs for shipping. But otherwise, which is really odd to me. I understand that the higher volume sellers get a discount on shipping, but I just don't understand why. I mean, for years, Bezos was getting basically free shipping through the United States Postal Service. I'm just like, why the fuck would you give a rich guy the free business? But I understand they want his business. Oh, look at that. I did not notice that, but still worth $1.11 just to put on the shelf. If I ever get a bookstore, it'll look good on a bookstore too. So yeah, that's all. I'm going. Goodbye.